Never give up, people. Never give up on anyone or anything. I just heard somebody say that, and it struck me. It struck me as a profound comment. Now, we often hear people just say, never give up. They throw it out there as a kind of a cliche. But that's the first time I heard somebody say, never give up on anyone or anything, combining the two. Don't give up on a person. Don't give up on a thing, a dream, a quest, a goal. And don't give up on a person. Never give up on anyone or anything. Now, a lot of you give up. I see this. You give up in many, many different ways. For you, it's easy to give up because you allow the difficulty and the pain, sometimes emotional pain, sometimes actual physical pain, you allow that to get to you. You would rather not see it through to the end, which is the achievement of your goals and success, as opposed to just giving up the fight. You know, when I started doing jiu-jitsu, what was probably around 14 years ago, all right? And by the way, I was an athlete growing up, but I never did fight sports. I did a little bit of karate when I was in high school, but, you know, I was a baseball player. A good one, too. I was a pitcher. But I never did any fight sports. But I got into jiu-jitsu late in my life. You know, I was in my mid to late 40s. Everybody in that class, they were younger than me. I was the oldest guy in the class, man. I was the oldest guy in the class here in New York. But nobody could beat me. Well, except for the top, the top instructors, the higher belts, the brown belts, the black belt. My instructor, who was a Brazilian guy, little guy, very nice guy. I mean, he could tap me out in, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, maybe a minute tops. But nobody else could beat me. Nobody else could beat me. And that's because no matter what, I never gave up. They couldn't tap me out. All right, we had a lot of very skilled jiu-jitsu fighters in there. But every time I either wrestled to a draw or grappled to a draw, or I beat the guy via submission. One of my favorite moves was a guillotine choke. And I also like the Kimura, which is a kind of not an arm bar, but it's kind of a arm lock sort of move. Those are my two signature submission moves. Nobody could beat me. Only the top guys. You needed a brown belt or a black belt to beat me. I don't know. I have this mental toughness. I've developed it. I'm trying to transmit it to you people. I'm trying to teach it to you. But I see that a lot of you prefer giving up. And then you create a rationalization, a story, a kind of like, ha, look at your position, Mike, ha. I took a small loss and then I turned around and I made money. That's great. It happened this time, but your luck. There is only a few ways to play this game, people. There's only a few ways to play this game. You could chase prices without any kind of real concrete understanding of what's happening. Just because the price is going up, I want to buy it. The price is going down, I want to sell it. You can just chase prices without any concrete understanding of what's going on. You know, sometimes that works, and then you think there is some kind of a logical rationale behind what you are doing. You think there is rhyme and reason to it. You think it makes sense because it looks like it's making sense. But looks can be deceiving. You know that old cliche, looks can be deceiving. So you could chase prices and think, I'm so smart because it's going down now and I sold and I made money, or it's going up now, like in the case of the stock market, and I bought and I made money. I guess that's an approach, but it's not a very scientific approach, all right? And it leaves you prone to this kind of constant whipsaw back and forth. Now it's going up, I got a buy. Now it's going down. No rhyme or reason, all right? I mean, Warren Buffett didn't get to where he is at. And let's face it, Warren Buffett created nothing. He's like the guy from the Oliver Stone movie, Wall Street, the first Wall Street movie, which was the best one, when Michael Douglas says, I create nothing, I own. Okay? The essence of capitalism. I create nothing, I own. That's Warren Buffett. And I'm not equating him to Michael Douglas's character Gordon Gekko in that movie, because Gordon Gekko, of course, he was a bad guy, and I don't look at Buffett. I'm kind of ambivalent towards Buffett, but I mean, what is he, like the third or the fourth richest guy in the world? I mean, what's he worth? 68, 70 billion, something like that. I don't know. He buys stocks, but I'm telling you, he does not, or he did not get to that level by just chasing prices. Coca-Cola's going up, I'm going to buy it. Or this stock's going down, I'm going to sell it. No, there's a rationale. There's a scientific method to what he does, and it's the consistent application of that method. But in order to do that, you got to have the mental toughness. You got to have the mental game. You got to have the resiliency. All right? How do you do that? That takes training. That takes practice. But more importantly, the most important thing, it takes commitment. It takes a decision on your part. You have to decide. You have to say, yes, I am going to stick with it. Now, most people, as easy as that may sound, I know probably some of you, over the course of your lives and your careers, you've gone out, you bought self-help books and motivational books, or you've listened to speakers. That's all people, those are all words. That's just words. You could read those day in and day out. You could listen to motivational speakers day in and day out. It's not going to change anything. At the end of the day, the bottom line is you have to make that commitment. Navy SEALs. You ring the bell, you're gone. The pain ends. Go home. It's over. Why did you go to the Navy SEALs? You wanted to be a Navy SEAL. Now you're going home. The game's over. You're never going to be one. All right? If you go, you have to go with a commitment. There's people, I've said this before, they're not athletes. They're not as strong as some of these guys who go out to try to become Navy SEALs. And these guys who come, elite athletes, could be distance runners, could be decathlon athletes, doesn't matter. A lot of them, they fail, they drop out as motivated as they are, as physically gifted and talented as they are, born with the right genetics and everything, they still don't make it. And you have these others. And I remember listening to one of these Navy SEAL guys, little guy, was maybe 5'6". He said and they used to separate all those guys into groups. You had some of these big, strong guys coming in there, could have been ex-football players or whatever, college football players, 6'3", 6'5", 6'8", 260, 270, muscled up, freaking huge. They would separate all those guys out. They would put the big guys in a group. They would put the little guys in a group. And time again, the little guys kicked butt. Now, I'm not a little guy. I'm 6'2", all right? But I'm just saying, how do the little guys kick butt? How? Because it's that desire, right? It's that need to want to show up the big guys, that commitment, that drive, that not giving up, not quitting attitude. The little guys used to last longer, man. Think about it. So that's what it comes down to. A lot of you are quitters, and then you rationalize it, you mock. But the mocking, you look foolish with the mocking. Everybody knows you're a quitter. You have nothing to show, right? You hang around on YouTube channels to make comments. What kind of life is that? Talk about I create nothing, right? When you do things like that. And you don't own. That's even worse. You're just nothing. You hang around. Quitters. Look what you did. The glory goes to those who do. All right? Doesn't matter. You got to do it. You got to push through it. You got to keep pushing through it. It never, how many times have I said this? How many times have I said this? It never gets easy. It never gets easy. If you think it's easy because the price was going up and you bought and it went up some more, live in that fantasy world, my friends. That's not going to continue. That's not reality. It never gets easy. But you want to know something? That's once you understand that, nothing, and I'm telling you, nothing can stop you. If you go in there with that attitude, like throw the toughest thing you could possibly throw at me. Give me everything you got, no problem. I take it, I chew it up, I spit it out, I keep on going. You're going to get there, man. You're going to get there. 100% guaranteed. 100% guaranteed. But a lot of you, you quit. You're weak. You're soft. You have no mental toughness. You give up. Then you whine and you cry. All right? And you criticize and you mock because that's the only thing that makes you feel better. That little, moment that I'm going to write a comment here. I'm going to say something to put him down. Yeah. You mock. Weakness, man. I could take all of you. All of you on. All of you. Just like I did. I was the oldest guy in that jiu-jitsu class. I beat everybody. Nobody can beat me. Except the top guys. Black belts, brown belts, yeah. But still, I came in there with no training whatsoever. I'm strong. I'm tough. People, I'm 60 years old. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I go running 10 miles. I work out every single day. All right, how many of you could do that? How many, the physical stuff, that adds to the mental toughness. I've been doing this a long time. In the past, I've given you examples about that book, or I've used quotes from that book, Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, which is about Jesse Livermore, one of the most famous speculators of, the early 20th century. And I always say there's great wisdom in that book. There's great, great wisdom, not just about trading, but about life. But you want to know something, which I never really talked about at the end? Jesse Livermore, he walked in after making and losing 3 or 4 fortunes in his life, major fortunes. He walked one day into the Sherry Netherland bar here on 5th Avenue and 59th Street in Manhattan. He walked in there. He went into the bathroom and he put a bullet in his head. He killed himself. Committed suicide. You want to know why? Because he was a loser, man. He was a loser. In his book, he talks about how wonderful it is to take losses. All right? So, that's reading in between the lines. I never told you about that before, but if you read the book, he said, once I take a loss, I don't think about it. He's already talking about losing, and he lost. His whole life was a big loss. He lost everything. He lost several marriages that fell apart. And in the end, you know what? He killed himself. Because he was a loser. He took losses. I don't do that. I win. Nobody can beat me. All right? Now you have to make that decision. It's all up to you. You quit. You ring the bell, put your helmet down, go away, give up your goal, give up your dream. You're going nowhere. You're a loser, all right? Or you stick with it, you tough it out, you stop whining, you stop crying, you take off your diapers, and you put on man pants. That's what you got to do, all right, everybody? I'll see you later. Bye-bye.